What is going on? What is going on? It's your boy Daniel Tadamy, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Hustle. This is episode 34. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and join with me, as always, is serial entrepreneur himself, Mr. Paul Renee Jr. Applause, claps all around. Welcome to episode 34 of Beyond the Hustle, man. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in, man. And make sure that
Maestro, what's up?
What's up, Paul? What's up, Paul? Make sure that y'all
Nothing
connect
much,
with us
bro.
on Spotify, right? Find us on Spotify, add us to your library. And also, we're trying to get back up on our TikTok. Since our TikTok was banned, we're trying to build that right back up. So make sure you follow us on TikTok if you lost us, and also connect with us on Instagram. All right, y'all? We're trying to push our social media a little bit more, trying to get some growth going there. That way we're able to do a lot more things on that. But yeah, make sure y'all connect with us on all social media platforms. All right. What is going on, Paul? This is episode 34, man.
Nothing much, Maestro. How you been? How was this week for you, brother?
Man, it's been a lot. I told you that I was in Michigan to help my younger brother, move back down here to Florida. That was an ordeal all in itself.
Tell him welcome back to paradise.
Yeah. And he wants to get back because the cold, right? The cold, and having his family and everything like that, raising his family in that cold, got to him. And I would tell him, like, bro, you're from Florida, and you moved to Michigan, which is like extremely cold, not even like a little bit cold, and the winters are long there. So I'm excited to have him back. I'm really close with my brothers, so it's been dope having him back, and I know he's glad to be back. But
Good deal.
Yeah, man. What was 16-hour drive? So it was 4-man crew. So like him, and he had someone else with him in the U-Haul. I was in his personal truck with my other older brother, and we split it 8.5 hours apiece. Just hit it back, bro.
Yeah, man. 16 hours. That's a flight to another country on the other side of the globe. Yeah, man. That's a long time. 16 hours. I used to do that type of stuff in my young days, man. I'm too old for that now. Yeah, man. These days I can pull something just bending down and trying to pick something up, trying to pick up a toy from the floor and stuff. I'm ending up hurting my back. Yeah, so
You wouldn't try that now?
oh man, 16-hour drive? No, I'm flying.
You flying?
I understand the situation though. Yeah, of course, right? You know, the
Yeah.
situation made it necessary for you guys to be able to have to drive. Okay, if it was a situation to where I required for me to be on the road, I still wouldn't do the 16 hours. Last time I did a road trip, it took me about 3 days to get to New York. And it doesn't even take that long to get to
I
New
was
York.
about to say
but
3 days?
yeah, it took me about 3 days to get to New York because we just drove and stopped, and then like, all right, man, this is where we're gonna camp for the night. Like that type of deal. I didn't stay on the road for too long, man.
Yeah.
I think what I did was leave Florida, got into Georgia, camped out in Georgia, then went up to North Carolina, camped out there.
Oh, you
I
was
went up
chilling.
to yeah, I did. And then from North Carolina, went up to the DMV area, camped out there. Then I went to New York. Yeah, so
yeah, you
and
took the
stopped and
scenic
seen
route.
some friends along the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah. See, you was chilling, which is fine. I like driving, bro. I was telling my brother, I said, man, I wouldn't mind getting my CDLs.
yeah, for real.
Yeah,
You
man,
can
I
see
like
yourself
being on
doing
the
that.
road, bro. I mean, not
You be
now, but I'm just
supplying.
saying, I like being on the road, bro. I mean, just turning on my music. Like my older brother, he was falling asleep, so he fell asleep. Uh, Man, and I was up. I slept a little bit because he took the first half of the drive, so he drove like all day. And so once it started like coming into like the evening time, like around 4 or 5 o'clock, I think I took over. So I drove through the night, man. We got back like at 1 something in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, let's unload these trucks. And my younger brother was like, no, bro, go to sleep. I'm like, dude,
Wow.
nah, let's just get it. Cause I was ready to come home. I was gone for 4 days, you know?
This guy was, yeah, okay. He was on some Red Bulls too, I bet. He was ready to rock, huh?
Adderall, bro.
Whoa. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So,
That'll do
dude,
it.
I was on. Yeah, I was on. Um, but yeah, man, I'm like, though, dude, I would do something like that. And I think because logistics is crazy, my background is primarily logistics. Even when I was overseas contracting, it was logistics, postal. So like things like that, that's just another piece of the supply chain. You know what I'm saying? Moving goods and services
Yeah.
over the road. So like, I don't know, man. Like I can do it, bro. I'm like, dude, I'll drive cross country, man. Not now I have a family, but I'm saying like I like being on the road like that.
Yeah, you'd be supplying the nation too, man, if you was on the road.
I would, bro. I would.
Yeah, truck
Um,
truckers are they're the ones who supply us with everything we need straight off of the cargo ships, man, and onto
yeah.
the trucks and
Um,
distributed into the hands of us here in America, man. So shout out to the truck drivers. We appreciate you.
yeah. I like the tax money 123, bro. What made you want to change it up?
Oh,
I like that behind you.
uh, it was getting blurry last time with the other one, so wanted to try this one out and
Oh,
see
okay.
how it would look. Yeah, so
It looked
yeah, I
clean,
had this
bro.
one. Yeah, I had this one for a while, but just never use it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, no,
Thanks.
no. It matches what Beyond the Hustle has going on. So like that's actually pretty dope.
Good, good,
I like that.
good,
Um,
good deal. Good deal.
I don't know if you know who I sent you this guy. I sent it. Normally we react a little bit later. I want to do a reaction at the top of the broadcast because it ties into what I want us to kind of like just like have a conversation about today. Um
Okay.
I sent it to you, Paul. Did I text it to you?
Did you today?
No, 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 no. I didn't send you this video. I sent you the guy's page, Sebastian Ingus. Ingus.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know how
yeah,
to say
yeah.
his
I've
name.
checked them
Yeah.
out.
So he said something that was pretty dope. Um, I'm gonna play it and then we're gonna get into it. It goes into line what we talk about a lot at any rate. So I want y'all to check
Okay.
this out, and we're gonna go into it. It's like 44 seconds.
If you're in a 9 to 5 and you want to become an entrepreneur, start it as a side hustle. 9 to 5 pays the bills. 5 to 10 becomes your side hustle, the time for you to work on your business and get it off the ground. Once you're making enough money in your side hustle that you can safely support yourself without the job, you can let go of the job and make your side hustle your full-time business. That's probably the process I would take, especially if I had family, I had kids, I had other responsibilities that I wasn't able to just take that risk. So, but most people have a hard time finding the energy or the will to want to do the work after they get off of work. And for me, that's kind of part of the proving ground. How much does this really mean to you? How passionate are you about seeing this thing get off the ground, whatever it is?
I mean, mic drop, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he was watching Beyond the Hustle since the first episode because this is the type of stuff that we talk about. For
Isn't it?
real.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, when I saw that, I like the way he articulated it because most people don't want to do the work after the 9 to 5. And I was thinking
Correct.
about
That's
it
true.
before we had this conversation. I was thinking about what I was going to say to you. Most people don't want to build up to a business. They want to like launch a business and go with business. And that's just not how it works unless you
Mm,
have a
true.
marketing budget out the gate, unless you have like a product that's refined out of the gate. But products, based on when you're delivering a product to the consumer, especially if it's like a service or something of that nature, it's going to get refined, and changed up along the way because you want to try to be able to market that product a certain type of way. You want to try to deliver it a certain type of way, especially if you don't have systems and things in place. Most people
Mhm.
just want to get out there. I'm gonna start a business, go. I have clientele, and that's it. Nah, man, it really doesn't work that way. You build up to
Yeah,
these
they're
things,
they're
man.
in for a rude awakening once they jump into it because yeah, it's not something that will create and generate wealth overnight. You got to put in work for this,
Yeah.
and regardless for whatever you're doing. And you like labeling me, and I am a serial entrepreneur, um, which is the case. And one of the things that is required to be a serial entrepreneur is the ability to create systems, right? And so
Mm,
once you have that system in place for like a first business or so, a template that you see that works,
yeah.
then you can utilize that same type of system. Doesn't mean that you're going to do it the same way, but you can cater it and change it to whatever business it is that you're starting on. But it's usually a systematic thing. That's why you see a lot of people who are entrepreneurs have multiple streams of income, multiple businesses, because they usually have a system that they know worked for this business, so let's apply it for this business, right?
Mm,
And then they're always also scaling, but it's not something that happens overnight. And I mean, yeah, marketing is very, very important. If you do, like you said, if you did have a huge marketing budget, to put ads out there and stuff,
yeah.
you'll put yourself out there to attract a lot of people. Um, you know, Marketing is serious. I like marketing, but I'm still in that old school category of where I think word of mouth and reputation still is the number one way of helping your business grow.
Mm,
By doing right for people, they're gonna spread the word, man, and that one person is gonna tell three, tell four, tell five, their whole family,
yeah.
friends. So yeah, just do good by people, man, and that's a good way for you to be able to market yourself too. But it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And what I do see, to piggyback off of what the gentleman was saying, is a lot of people are tired, man. They do want that side hustle or side business, but they don't have that passion that extends past that 9 to 5 to go ahead and jump into that side hustle or that side business that they had on their mind to create. A lot of people are tired. A lot of people have children, that they have to come home to after that 9 to 5 and make sure that they're taken care of, or obligations. Um, but I do see it a lot that just people are exhausted from their 9 to 5, and then when they come home, they don't put that time and effort into their side hustle because they rather watch the game. They rather watch the TV or do whatever other than
Mm,
um, that 9 to 5. What I've seen was a big uh, uh, point for my success was that I've had a lot of jobs. I've had a lot of jobs, man. I used to sell everything, right,
mm,
and worked a lot of different jobs. But while I was working those jobs, I always had my businesses,
mm,
or business, like one of my first business that I had that I wanted to work on, and that was my baby, that was my project. So I'm gonna do. But after that, I'm going to be working on my baby and my project, and
yeah.
that even went down to the weekends where my friends were wanting to party and go out, and
Nope.
I'm sitting here on the computer learning, building up my trade, my skill set,
Uh,
all that. I'm
yeah.
refining myself. Didn't
Yeah.
mean Doesn't mean that I didn't find time or to have fun,
Mm,
but how much fun do I need, right? Like I have,
yeah.
I have these goals and stuff that I want to work on, and I've always been, um, the type of person that had the tenacity to learn stuff and stay focused on things, and then just
Mm,
keep working at it, man. Like that was my game. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? The
Yeah.
business and getting the business started. That was my, way to relax, and it also became my addiction
Yeah.
once I seen myself get paid from it, right? So it's like when I had, one of the first businesses that I had uh, uh, that I made money from
Mm-hmm.
was mowing lawns, right? I used to mow lawns back in the day, right? I'm like, hey, if I'm cutting my grass, I might as well cut my neighbor's grass too. And it was just addicting. It was just addicting to know that my neighbors was willing to pay me some money just to
Yeah.
cut their grass. So
Cut the
I
grass.
started liking cutting grass, man. I'm like, yeah, every time I cut my grass, I get paid because I'm gonna go ahead and do the neighbors too and everything. So, and
Yeah.
I know that's not like um, the fast track to making millions,
Right.
but the principles that I learned from that business, I applied to other businesses, right?
Yeah.
Being able to show up, giving the customer respect,
Yep.
great customer service,
Yep.
giving for the customer. All those are a kind of like a template that you take on to
Yeah.
the next business and to the next business and stuff. Along with all the other admin things and whatnot. But majority of the time, I like to focus on providing my clients or
Mm-hmm.
friends. I don't like calling them clients. I like calling them friends.
Yeah.
But providing them with the best service and the best results, possible.
I
That
think
was ultimately the goal.
I think a highly underestimated thing that you learn when you are starting out, or those untangibles even in that moment, is knowing or being able to locate avenues to make money. Because anyone that you see that is successful, that does have financial freedom and a nice amount of wealth established, they're not just doing one thing. You
No,
have to be able to locate those revenue generating streams, and some may be larger than others, but you don't get rid of them, right? You just keep flowing. Like, I think I take it back to, I think we talked about it before. Was I forgot? I think I was talking to you. I was talking to one of my brothers, but I was saying that even when you look at, we're going to talk about the celebrities. I know that's a huge example, but we're going to use an extreme example when we talk about Shaq and Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Um, they were on TNT. I think they're moving to ESPN now, but they were on TNT. Those guys are all business owners, right? They're all entrepreneurs within their right. They don't have to be on TNT. That's a job though. That's a
right.
revenue generating, income. That's another stream. They still wake up and go do a job. You
The
know what I'm
other
saying?
businesses, yeah, they manage.
Yeah, and other businesses are doing their thing. Shaq, I mean, we know Shaq has his hand in
Yeah,
everything. The dude, I
multiple
just seen
multiple
a,
hats.
I was streaming on Twitch, and one of the ads came through, and he's doing a commercial with Kevin Hart. And I think it was the
Mm-hmm.
General. I think it was, I forget the commercial, but whatever.
T
You know what I'm
Pain with
saying?
T Pain.
Yeah, he had another one with T Pain. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, with the
bro,
general.
this dude, yeah, this dude's like everywhere. He has a
Mhm.
signature pizza at Papa John's. Like, he has drinks and just whatever. But they still clock in. Those guys still clock in to TNT to do a show. And now I think they're going to be going to ESPN to do a show. They still clock in. And he has a podcast. Shaq has a podcast at the same time. I
Oh
say that to
wow,
say,
incredible.
like, yeah, he has a podcast too. But I say that to say, being able to identify revenue generating opportunities and just tapping into that. Some pots may be larger than others, but the thing about it is, you want that. It's just like you want to diversify your portfolio when you're talking about investments. You don't want to invest into like one thing. The same thing goes when it comes to like generating revenue. You don't want to just have one revenue generating stream, and it's gonna require you to get creative. Like, when you start, what Sebastian was saying, when after your 9 to 5, you have your 5 to 9, I think he said, or 5 to 10 or whatever.
5 to
But so,
10.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's basically what you want to do. And when you're getting to that, like, you don't have to have all the answers right away. And I think people just want to like jump out the plane and just take off flying. That's not how it works. You're gonna have to grind those things. I was talking to one of my friends about, they wanted to do something. They were talking about doing a podcast, and I said, when you start doing the show, when you start doing your podcast, those first maybe 100 episodes, 50 episodes, it's not about your viewers. That's about you. getting
Right.
your feel of your show, getting your the way you're gonna communicate together, getting if you're gonna have guests.
Mhm.
It's just developing your identity as a show, and then after that you can start building on that. Even to what we're doing. Like when we're talking about it, at the beginning, it's going to be us figuring out who we are, and I feel like now we have a stride now. We kind of have an
Yeah.
identity now, but like in the beginning, like it's just you figuring out you and your communicating style. Same thing goes to your business. You got to figure out your product, how you're going to sell it, how you're going to market it, how you're going to position it, and then how you're going to make the most money possible. In the beginning, you may sell it for a low price, and you start building up as it starts gaining in value. But people don't want to do that work, man. And I hear it. I hear it. I talk to people. They have these great aspirations, and I think the best way when you're talking about doing what you want to do, like break it down into small chunks so that you're able to digest it and do something with it. You can't just throw this big thing out there and expect it to get done. No, you got to take it in small chunks, take it in small steps and bites, and then see what happens, over weeks, months, years.
Yeah, it's just hard because
I
world,
lost you. I
fast
lost you.
paced. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's hard because we're living in this fast paced world, man. Everything's fast paced, and people want to see the results of them investing time and energy into their business turn, fast, right? They want to see that results come show up fast, and it's not realistic.
Not at all,
You
man.
really gotta, yeah, you gotta put in that time and work, man.
Hmm.
And then after you have developed that craft, after that business is standing on its 10 toes and it's making its money, and that system is running fluently, then you focus on another one. When you have that
Yep.
time to, let's say you're building, a management business, or a marketing business, I should say,
Hmm.
and you're the sole person doing it. You're creating all the content or whatnot, but then so you got the system flowing and it's going good. You're making your money, and then you hire someone else to jump on it and manage it, and
Hmm.
operate it, and you're just sitting there being the overseer, the boss of it, and watching and making sure everything goes to plan accordingly. And so you have someone else who's filling your shoes, and so now you can go ahead and focus on something else, right? You have
Yep.
time now. Um, to jump on to something else. So just like Shaq, Kenny, and EJ, um, they're not the ones that are sitting there doing the day to day operations for all the businesses that
Oh
they're a
God,
part
no.
of, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shaq's not making any pizza, right? He's not doing that. He's not. He's not fulfilling any insurance policies for people either, right?
Yeah.
So, but there's people behind the scenes that are doing it. All he needs to do is check it, make sure the numbers look right, and then
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it's on to the next one. What's another good investment, right? So
Yeah.
after a while, it becomes simple. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
What I do see, what cripples people is just they don't just do it. They don't just get down and get running. They always
Yeah.
procrastinate and hinder themselves by throwing
Yeah.
obstacles in front of them. Right? They want to open up a tire business. I'm just throwing stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
But I need to create an LLC. I need funding. What bank's going to give me loans? Like everybody who wants to start a business always talks about loans. I need a loan before I get a business started. I need a loan. No, the best type of investment you could make is investing in yourself and creating um, the opportunity for yourself without asking anybody, right?
Hmm.
Like, I get loans are necessary. My
Yeah.
advice would be get the loan after you already have a system in place, and now you know what the loan is going to be used for, and that loan
Mm.
is going to be making you some money back, right?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm going to go ahead and get a loan to buy these tires, but you don't even have a system yet on how you're gonna even, operate or manage this
Sell
tire
those
company,
tires.
but you've
Yeah.
already seeking a loan. I'm not gonna start this business until I can get a loan. That's what happens.
Yeah,
I
I
know
hear
guys
that.
who are serial. Yeah, yeah. Until I get a loan, I need a loan. I know guys who are serial entrepreneurs too. Like I'm not the only one out there. I have mentors and friends that I look up to, and we talk and we communicate with. You're one of
Mhm.
those guys that is a serial entrepreneur yourself. You have multi hats on your plate as well. But they don't look at the vanity side of the business, the identity, the brands, the logos, the LLCs. No, they is Daniel,
Say
and
it
the number
again.
one
I
rule
lost you.
is.
I lost you.
Oh,
Say it
okay.
again.
I said the guys that I'm around, they're not worried about the vanity project of the
Yeah.
business. They're not worried about the registrations, the LLCs, the
Mm.
logos,
Okay.
things like
Okay.
that, right? They're worried. What they're worried about is the number one rule, right? Of business, the first and foremost number one rule, which is.
Making that money.
That's what's up. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Is making that money, man, getting that system in place to make
Yeah.
that money. Then everything else falls in line. All
Yeah.
right. Then
Yeah.
then comes the tax money 1 2 3 logo and everything. I was
Yeah.
helping people. I was helping people file their taxes before I even had a logo done or a name done. Matter of fact, I had different companies before I, came up with the tax money 1 2 3 1.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I was helping people, file their taxes. That was the last thing, I was worried about was logos and all that. Even though it
Yeah.
was
We got to
in
get this
my,
money
even though I
first.
was developing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even though I was
Yeah.
developing it, like
Yeah.
if you seen some of the first type of marketing tools, the marketing ideas that I came up with, you'd be like, wow, you came a long way. But that wasn't the main focus. The
Yeah.
main focus and the main tool that catapulted me was this thing right here, man. This beautiful device right
That
here.
phone.
That's the main thing. Oh yeah, that's the
That's a
main thing. And this is what
powerful thing, bro.
this is that power tool, man. This the power behind this can bring spaceships to the moon, right? Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like yeah, this is more powerful than the computers that they had to bring astronauts to the moon. I mean, if they ever did go to the moon,
Allegedly.
that's a tin. Yeah, that's a tinfoil hat moment, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go against. I don't want to go against any grains. Yeah, we
Yeah.
landed on the moon because they said we landed on the moon. I don't. Yeah,
Because they
but
said so.
anyway, you know what I'm saying. But nah, man, it's that phone. It's
Yeah.
that connecting with people is, and
Mm-hmm.
to be real, that's another thing that hinders people is they're afraid to communicate. They're afraid to talk. They're afraid to reach out. They're afraid to do those cold calls, man. It's tedious. It hurts. I'm
Yeah.
not telling you it's not for the weak,
Yeah.
right? That's why a lot of people prefer that 9 to 5 is because they don't have to do that. They don't have to make the phone calls. They don't have to be the
Yeah.
one managing it. And then that security of knowing that, hey, I'm gonna get a paycheck this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
Friday, right? And so after putting in all that work and 40 hours, a lot of people don't want to do the additional time, that it's going to take for them to catapult and get where they really want to go. So they're
I
stuck,
think it's I think it's
and it happens, man. It happens with everything.
yeah,
It
it
happens with
does.
everything.
It does. It happens with a lot. It happens with the diet. It happens with the responsibility of the kids. It happens with if you're married or in a relationship. It happens with that. It happens with family. You know, 9 to 5,
Yeah.
having a job takes away a lot. Being a full-time employee is demanding, and it doesn't matter what your job is, right? Even you can have the most
Mhm.
lax daisy job. There's still a demand there, and even if you might not do too much out your day, mentally being available, emotionally being available to the job, or even just being available, being on call, having to be on standby. I know there's times where I don't have anything to do at the moment, even like now, like when I got done with my 9 to 5, I knew I had to prep for this. So I'm finding videos. I'm setting up the templates to run this show. It's not till
Right.
9:30, but I know it's coming. So like you still don't get to unlock.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. You still don't get to disengage because you know that there's something coming. You
No,
still
you
have
don't.
to remain on, right? Because you're on standby, right? So you have to be aware. Um, so you don't really get to like fully relax. I laid down for a second, literally for 30 minutes. I laid down for 30 minutes, but it wasn't no relaxing because I knew I had to get up and do this. And a lot of people don't want to have to put in that work. I'm not gonna say. I was talking to someone and I was just saying that people are lazy, and they challenged me. They said, Daniel, I don't even think people are lazy. He said, well, I'm not gonna say lazy. They just want to go the easiest way about doing things. They just want to do it the easiest way. And I said, you know what? I could kind of follow you on that thought process because it's not so much as lazy. They just want to do the easiest thing. And there's nothing
Right.
wrong with doing the easiest thing. And I think that one thing that I see online is that people, I'm not liking a lot of the marketing. And if you need help in that marketing standpoint, holla at me. I'm not liking what I see from a lot of marketing because it's a lot of guilt in there, and I understand they gotta tug on an emotion, but it's like, oh, if you're not buying this, you're missing out, or if you're not doing this, you're not
Yeah.
doing this, you're not going as hard as you can, you're not doing. It's just like no,
Right.
people don't want to be sold to like that. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to know what
Mhm.
the conversions are on some of these people's marketing schemes. I want to know what the conversion is because I get it. You want to invoke that FOMO, that fear of missing out. You want to invoke some type of other emotion to get the person to buy. I get it. And I guess if that's the type of clientele you're going for, then that's the type of clientele you're going for. People that's just going to do things on the moment. And we did something about it last time. We're talking about people building brands on a wave, doing something on a wave. And whenever you build something based off of a wave or based off of a fad, and there's nothing substantial there, it's going to fall over time because there's nothing there to keep it held up. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I wanted to move. Unless you got something to say, I wanted to move into something
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Let me
specific.
just cap on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, marketing is important, but I think the quality of service and product is even much more important. Okay,
yes,
than marketing.
yes,
Because when you have top quality product, and service, again, the people will market for you. It's like you see a lot more Toyota and Honda and Nissan commercials than you see Bentleys and Maybachs, right? And
that's true.
Porsches and Aston Martins, right? They don't
That's my
need to
car,
be out.
bro.
Yeah, Aston Martins.
The
Yeah, yeah. I like
DB9,
I like an
bro.
Aston
Give me
Martin.
the James Bond,
I
dog.
like an Aston Martin. Right, right. I like the Corvettes too, man. I
The
swear.
Corvette. That's your
And
car.
the BMW. Yeah, BMW i8, man. I'll put it out
Okay,
there.
okay.
But definitely, you know, when you have to keep pushing and pushing on marketing and marketing and marketing, I mean, yeah, it's necessary, but if you don't have a good product, you're not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna
Yeah.
it's not gonna give you that prime opportunity to tap in to the real number one marketing source, and that is the referrals. So yeah, I just wanted to end it on
Mm.
that from what you were talking
Nah, you right. Uh, you can market crap all day, and that's all you're gonna do is just market crap. If it ain't
Yeah,
good, it
so when you
ain't
see
good.
these people are like, no, if you don't have it, you missing out. You
Uh,
missing out. No, it's not. That's
nah,
not
man.
necessary. It's not
Dude,
if you have a good product or service.
this two things turn me off, bro. Leading with money is a huge way to get me to turn off, bro. Like, oh, it's this much. You can make this much amount of money, or I got this much amount of money doing this. Easiest way to turn me off. Easiest way.
Yeah,
And starting a
yeah.
video saying, if you're not doing this, you're wrong. Those two ways will completely turn me off. Now I'm pretty sure those two marketing strategies, those hooks may grab some people. I'm not the type of person that they grab. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I'll go as far as to say you're not gonna grab quality people with those. You may grab numbers with those, you know. But I doubt you grab
Mhm.
quality with those. Those aren't two hooks that I would use. That's free game I just gave y'all. But uh I want to segue into something real quick, current event, because you know me, I come out with my current events. Bro, have you
Yes,
been
sir.
paying attention to what's been going on with Chicago now that Trump has cleaned up? Well, the National Guard, he deployed the National Guard and did a certain amount of things to do with Washington, D.C. And now he wants to take on Chicago, Illinois. You've been hearing about
Yeah,
that?
which he should. Which he should. I mean,
Which he
I mean,
should.
I've heard about the impact that what he did had on DC. There was like
Yeah.
no murders or anything like that,
Yeah.
or no crime
No
or something like
crime,
that, right?
bro.
For the
No
no
crime.
crime at all, right? Like some crazy numbers.
Yeah, I think they did like 500 arrests, I want to
As you
say.
should.
Yeah. And the thing
Yeah,
about
man.
it is
So
he
if you
deployed the
implement that,
National Guard. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
well, if you implement that system
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
system into to other places, it's gonna work too, right?
Yeah.
Just see how you created that system in DC. It worked. Now let's see where else needs to be fixed and do the same
And
thing
cleaned
there.
up.
You're gonna have a different, yeah. You're gonna have a different type of country after a while.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Um two things, right? The first one is people were talking about him deploying the National Guard. Now, when he deployed the National Guard to DC, he didn't like weaponize the National Guard. He literally deployed them to clean up trash because
Mhm.
the parks and rec people that were working in the parks services, they fired them. They got rid of them because they wasn't doing their job, right? So someone had to replant the flowers. Someone had to clean up the trash. So that's what he had the National Guard doing. So people are tripping about that. He literally deployed them to do that, and he deployed them to the other states. I think he deployed like 24 of them to do admin work, right? So people were talking about, oh, he's deploying the National Guard. No, it's not like that. So like now the second part is this. I was talking to one of my friends, and I said, I wanted his viewpoint. I said, what do you think about what Trump is trying to do with deploying the National Guard and ICE to Chicago? He said, he brought up a good point. He said, black people are going to be in an uproar about this because when you talk about cleaning up Chicago and you're talking about cleaning up these heavy crime areas, who are the people that's committing most of the crime? So it's coming from Trump. So it makes people feel like, or it seems like he's attacking black people. And I countered, and he didn't feel this way, but he was just giving me like the way some black people see it. And I was like, I get that viewpoint. And I said, but who's committing these crimes? And we're not just talking about, we're talking about like these heavy violent crimes. Who's in these?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so Beyond the Hustle Nation, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, but from what I've understood about Chicago was that Chicago has a huge illegal immigration problem, and that's what causes or has been causing a lot of the crime, because there's like criminal factions there from illegal immigrants combating, against the criminal factions of the
Okay.
urban, the black Americans there. So that's I would assume that that's the reason why ICE is going to be put out there, is to
Oh, for
help
sure.
combat,
It's a sanctuary city.
the legal immigrants out there, and reduce the presence there. But let's just be clear: it's not a black thing. It's not a Hispanic or white thing. It's a criminal thing.
It's a criminal.
That's what they're trying to combat, is criminals. So
yes,
the only people that are going to be upset are the same type of people that were upset when Elon Musk came in and started exposing the criminals that were using taxpayer money for fraudulent reasons, man. It's usually those type of people that get upset, are the people that are going to see that they're going to get their hands stuck or caught in the cookie jar, right?
Yeah.
So other than that, who is going to be upset at,
we lost you.
I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said, either than that, who's going to be upset at our president going in and cleaning up the country? I apologize about the disconnect. It's raining out here. And you know, I'm
All
out
right,
here
fine, fine.
in the country and stuff.
And
So,
the sticks.
um, oh yeah, oh yeah.
This this is a pastor used to say this when I was at this church. He said, if you can't say amen, say ouch. So if you can't agree with me, then it hits you. Say ouch. And I hear a lot of people saying ouch. You know what I'm saying? So like, because the
Yeah.
citizens want this. The citizens have gone to the DC mayor. I'm sorry, the mayor of Chicago, and was like, yo, I was a Democrat. You turned me Republican. Black people, because of what you've done to this city. You've raised our taxes, and then you've been spilling all this money and putting all this money into the illegal immigrants to house them, to feed them, to do all these things, to give them money, to subsidize them. And you raise our taxes to do that. And then now you're saying you need more funding. Like you're calling out to the federal government to help you with more funding, and you want to raise our taxes again. Dude, let's get into this video because it's gonna explain it, man. And if y'all
Okay.
can't see it, maybe y'all can just hear it. So
we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet, than our white women counterparts.
That's
It's
not the
literally
video.
I don't think that has.
the racism
Yeah,
that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet
that's not the
actually
video.
means the diet don't work for you to.
That's not the video I was
Yeah,
trying
I
to do,
think
y'all.
that's the one you wanted to throw in front of me to see how I'm
The
going to react.
curveball.
I could, yeah, the curve.
We're gonna
At
get
least
to
I'm
that
prepared for it.
curveball later. I hate that happened, but we're gonna get to that curveball later. Let's check this out. Here we go. Uh-oh. You can't hear it? Did you
Nah,
hear
no
it or
sound. No sound.
Let's do this. Still no sound?
Yeah, no sound.
Dang, what's going on? All right, hold on. I'm gonna bring it back in again. Those are my boys, man. Have I sent you their videos before? The Cartier
No.
family? I haven't sent you their videos, dude. They get a lot of hate from the black community, bro. They get a lot of hate from the black community because of what they be saying and what they be agreeing with.
Dan, you know, I've taken some I've analyzed this podcast world, man. And
You said you've analyzed it?
yeah, I've analyzed it. You know, it doesn't take me long to analyze it, and I've understood this for a while, but I'm just gonna feel like talking about it, man. It's just that seems to be the topic of discussion for the podcast world is either women being promiscuous and how men need to stay away from women. It's like the war between men and women, basically, right? That's what is being pushed out there, or the race thing, right? The differences in cultures and how the man is putting us down, you know, that type of stuff.
Everybody's affected.
There we go. Yeah, man, this podcast world is saturated with that type of stuff, man, and it seems to be what builds up traction, right? Gets engagement and stuff, what people are attracted to. But man, it's just after a while, it's like, man, you know, for a brain like mine, I need to be stimulated with things that, you know, are gonna help improve my life, right?
Uh-huh.
And the majority of the time, I don't see things that are improving my life in this podcast world. It's entertainment. Like,
Right.
oh, okay, I'll listen to some Charleston White, you know, or some Orlando Brown, right? And then get, you know, listen to what they say. But majority of the time it's celebrities and actors and athletes and all this stuff, frivolous things, man. Frivolous things that consume not only you but me too, because I'm sitting there just scrolling. Next thing you know, it's like an hour went by because I'm just so captivated. It's like addicting, man. And this really only started happening since I've been on the podcast, since we've been doing this podcast, because I'm trying to, gauge where we're at along with, our peers and stuff in the podcast community. And it's just like, man, this stuff can be addicted. And I can see how people can be, distracted. And it's not a bad distraction, right?
Mhm.
There's bad distractions, there's good distractions. It's not even a bad distraction, but it's still a distraction,
It's still
right?
a
To,
distraction.
they yeah, you'd rather spend an hour or two on your phone scrolling than going ahead and starting a business that don't even, require as much time as, what you're putting in just for entertainment, and this whole society seems to be engulfed in entertainment. And that's what it's all about. It's just don't worry about the shortcomings. Don't worry about your goals. Don't worry about succeeding or being the best person that you can be. Here, watch this show.
You
Listen
could
to
be
what these guys
entertained.
got to say. Hey,
I'm
yeah,
I was
little
gonna
Boosie's
s-
about to get arrested. It's,
I
it's
was
like,
gonna
who
say
cares?
I was gonna say that to you. Um and this is going into, so since we're here, this the pod, let's have a conversation there, right? It goes back
Mhm.
into what I believe. That it goes back into the way that this world works, the way that this matrix works. And they talking about unplugging people from the matrix, bro. Because now it goes back into the matrix. So the way that my brother breaks it down, he said you got janitors and you have managers, right? The higher up you go, you see less managers, right? There aren't too many people in charge. The higher you go up in a company, the people in charge get less and less, right? Because that's what keeps this thing. You can't have too many chiefs, bro. You got to have more Indians than chiefs. So you can't
Mhm.
have a lot of people getting unplugged, bro. Like a lot of people are just going to remain janitors. And that's not a knock against people. That's just the facts of what life is. A lot of people are going to be born and die mediocre. They're not going to ever achieve any level of anything, right? Because like what we
Yeah.
just talked about, bro, when they get off of their 9 to 5, they're not going to do the work to do it. They're not going to want to be
Mhm.
tired. Bro, I idle on I need sleep, bro. That's where I idle. I'm not even gonna tell you what my sleep routine was this past
Man,
week,
I can
cause
imagine. I can
cause
imagine.
I'm not gonna do. And then what I do, and this is, I'm not saying that I'm better than nobody. I'm just using myself as an example because I only know me. I don't know what anyone else is doing in their
Yeah.
personal life, right? Um,
Facts, right.
and then when I get up on Saturday, I I'm gonna go to the gym and then I'm gonna hit the bike trail, right? Because my health isn't gonna take care of itself. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on
Correct.
Saturday, on Sunday. And Sunday is family day. So I'm gonna be giving out there, and then I go back and do it on Monday, bro. What do you do for fun, Daniel? I work, because when I'm not working, I'm working.
Yeah.
And then my streaming, when I play the
Yeah.
video game, I stream, right? So even when I play the video
Yeah.
game, that's work, right? So
Yeah.
there are a ton of people that don't want to do that, Paul, and they want to be entertained. That's the reason why we that's the reason, and I'm gonna talk about us. Why do y'all think we react to relationship and politics? Because if we sat here and did nothing but business and talked to y'all about numbers, and Paul got into his tax bag, how many of y'all would sit around for that? So we got to
None.
sprinkle in some
Yeah, you're right.
life with some entertainment. And many people just want to
And
be
that's how come we
entertained,
get
Paul.
it. We get a lot of, and that's how we get a lot of engagements, is from the controversial topics that
Yeah.
we talk about. But I'm like, man, that sucks. You know how many quality things that we've been talking about that people are not, grasping on or gravitating to, because because all they're concerned about, you know.
It's being
Um,
entertained.
but yeah, that's it. That's just being entertained, and it's not catching them, and because they want to be entertained while they're scrolling and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, hey,
I don't
you know
know,
what I do?
and that's just me. That's just
That's
me.
why.
This
That's
is my
why I
thoughts
do
behind it.
OPC, bro. Other people's content. That's why you see. That's why you'll see. Move it to the mic. That's why you'll see on my page. Like I'll post myself talking. I'll do that. I'll post myself reacting to a video, and then I'll post somebody else's video, something funny. I did this thing, bro. I did I posted this fails video of people
Yeah, because
falling.
you know how to manage. You know how
I
to
put.
manage this the metaverse. You know what people are looking for, what they you
Hmm.
play the game, right?
I played a
It's
game.
just that we have to play the game. That, in
the
my opinion, you know.
the
Yeah.
the first time I went viral, and a lot of people don't want to play the game, Paul. A lot of people don't want to play the game. Um,
No.
if I had a certain amount of money, if I had a certain amount of influence, I wouldn't play it either because then you get to start dictating the game. You don't got to play it. You can start creating the game. You can start creating a game. The first time I
Yeah.
went viral and I hit my uh, over a million views on a video was OPC, other people's content. I posted a video of this dude
Mm.
crashing a car. That's how I got monetized. It went viral. I had over a million views on it. Um, and I got monetized off of that video. And then I
Yeah.
post my own stuff. So like, man, it is a game, bro. And when you learn what it is, and when I see ads, bro, like when I see ads now, knowing what I know, I see behind the ad. I see the marketing strategy. I hear the music.
Mhm.
I hear the words that they're using, like because of what I do. So I break it down. It's just like anything else. When LeBron's watching a basketball game, no matter what level, whether it's Pop Warner, high school, college, or professional, when he sees the game, because he's in it, he breaks it down. Same thing with you. When you see a person's
Yeah.
finances, when you see a budget, you break it. Like, you don't just see the numbers on the page. You see what make up that. So like, it's just like anything else, man. Like when you look behind it, man, and you start doing it, you behind the curtain, you see it for what it is. And I see things on social media, and I'm like, bro, that's just for click. That's just for click. And I see it, bro. Um, but yeah,
It
man,
is, and I get it. There's money there. I mean, look, if you got
there's
Shaq with a
money there,
podcast, you know
Paul,
there's money.
bro.
Yeah. If Shaq's doing a podcast, you know there's money there because, like, you know, he talks like this, and that's all he talk about, and you know, we're gonna make up some pizza and then slam dunk, and listen, Robert Griffin Jr. Don't talk about my girl Angel Reese, or I'm gonna punch her in the face. You know,
Oh,
don't
bro.
do that, right? Like that's Shaq, right? And so
Bro.
yeah, but the only reason why he's doing it is because there's money there, and I get it, and I'm
They
not
got
hating
something to
on that.
say. They
That's
got something to say, man. Them people don't got nothing to
yeah,
say. There's money there, bro. Because when you listen to their
there's money.
podcast, it don't be, bro. There's money there. Why do you think T Pain is street? T Pain said it's hard for me to leave out of my house. The amount of money I make playing this game, he said I make more money playing this game than I ever did making music. And T Pain
Yeah, he
had
did.
what, more number ones than anybody, bro, at that time, bro.
Yeah,
There's a lot
but
of
you
money
did.
on
Yeah,
this
but we
computer,
already
bro.
had that conversation. Artists don't make money, man. They don't make
That's true.
money. Uh,
That's true.
Even now, right? Here's back in the day, man. You know, like when we were in the music business and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It was still the same, right? The best artists out there would get somewhat around $1 album they sold, right?
Dang.
So if they sold, yeah, I know that's fuck, and the albums were going for like $15 at the time, I think, or
Yeah.
12 $15, and they only get $1 off of that. That's the best artist, right? Like the
Jeez.
label seeking this guy to sign on. Majority of them was like 30 cents, 40 cents. So you sell a million, you made $1 million, right? If you're the top artist,
Yeah.
if you're selling a million, you made 300,000. If you only making a couple of cents off of the record. And that's still huge for people who are coming from urban communities where
Yeah.
they weren't even making 30,000 in a year, right? So, but nowadays, like and I've been watching how artists have been canceling shows left and right. They're canceling tours,
Really?
canceling shows. Yeah, man, that's where the
The
money
money
was
ain't
at, and
there.
now they're not there anymore. The people are not even showing.
Gosh,
Who wants
dog.
to show up to watch Sexy Red do a concert? Like who wants to do that?
Where's she at,
How is
bro?
that entertaining? That's not Busta Rhymes. You get
Where's
what I'm
she at,
saying?
bro?
That's not.
Where's sexy?
Yeah,
When the last time
that's
Sexy
not
Red dropped
anything
something?
intentional. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Or Suki, whatever their names are, right? They're not relevant because
Mm.
nobody wants. They're not making any money. They're just giving you that image, that
That image,
persona.
that
Yeah.
that goes into what I was saying. When you build a brand or you build a business based off of a wave, that whole sexy red and being raunchy and that was a wave. Why do you think that we don't even see what's that light skinned chick? She was pretty cute too. What's her name? It's a light skinned chick with the red hair. What's her name, bro? They said her fall
I don't
was
know the
like
rappers.
they said her fall was pretty crazy because when she was thick, like she had it. Then when she started losing weight, like she just lost her appeal, bro. I forget her name, man, but I gotta find out her name. But I'm not gonna be able to play the video, so we're just gonna do the audio. I can show the video, but I don't want to do it that way because I gotta remove our branding, and I'm not gonna remove our branding, y'all. So we're just gonna
That's what's up.
we're just gonna I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna do the audio. But it's these guys right here, the Cartier family. So shout out to them. I definitely want to get them their shout out. These guys are really good. But all right, let's check it out.
Chicago, Chicago, Chicago.
This is so crazy, bro.
So over the weekend, guys, 35 people were shot. 5 people just died in Chicago over the weekend. And people say they don't see what they're saying, that they don't see the violence that's in Chicago. Look what this guy said on Fox today. And people say they don't see what they're saying, that they don't see the violence that's in Chicago. Look what this guy said on Fox today.
I was in Chicago, D.C. earlier this year. I'm in Atlanta right now, and I've not yet stepped in one single pool of blood. So I'm not sure what America and what major city Luke is referencing, and I'm not sure, even when I'm in New York City, what he's referencing.
Are you kidding?
And so with that being said...
Wait a minute. So you haven't stepped...
Dude, 35 people shot in a weekend and 5 people dead. Mm-hmm. I don't think people understand how crazy that number is.
It's not that crazy. And I'll give you my insight.
You're talking about in a city. You're talking about...
Yeah, remember, Orlando used to be one of the number 1 per capita for murder too. Right? But did you see people laying out on the street, dead? No. So majority of the crime that occurs, especially for murder, are personal. Like they're... You know what I'm saying? So that's why people are not seeing it, because they're not engaging in these personal beefs. You get what I'm saying?
And they're gonna get into it.
People are trying to make it. They're trying to make it sound like, people just running up on people and just killing each other, just to, just for fun. That's not how it works. No. Well, that's it. When I hear large numbers in Chicago and people get shot, that's gang wars. That's people going at each other.
It is until it spills out to where they were shooting people downtown, to where a baby got shot. So they killed an 8-year-old, they killed a 5-year-old. So they shot a lady who was visiting Chicago on vacation, pushing her stroller. So I think that I do agree with you. It's when the gang violence, because it is, and they talk about it, is people sliding on their ops, right? It's not like because they want to try to make it. It's not people are doing this for money. They're not committing these crimes because they want a way out. No, it's their ops, right? And wherever their ops are, that's where they're gonna get you. It's they're shooting up.
And if you're standing close to them with your baby or your kid, you might get hit. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to aim. They're not there. They're at the fire range and practicing on their aim and stuff, bro.
That's a problem, though, Paul. That's what I'm saying. Like when you're talking about 35 people getting shot, of course they weren't all spread out throughout the city. Of course it's in a neighborhood. That's crazy, right? Just think about your neighborhood. Can you imagine 35 people getting shot in your neighborhood and 5 out of that 35 dying?
No, because see, I have the responsibility of being able to position myself where I feel safe.
But what I'm saying, that's 35 people in that pond of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that standpoint, and we all know what happens in Chicago, right? People move from Chicago. You know that, and what LA? That's I think are the most moved from cities in DC. That's crazy.
I would move too. That's what I'm saying. We as human beings, we have that ability to relocate. We do, just like your brother did, right?
Yeah.
You just picked up your brother, moved him, right? That could have been a situation where it was not, to his best interest to be there. Same thing with everything else, so everybody else. Since you're not going to be taking a stand in your neighborhood to make your neighborhood a better place, just leave, and go somewhere else.
Get the
And let Trump come in with the troops and clear everything out and make the place a better place. But unfortunately, not everyone has the option to be able to leave. I get that. And so if you're not, then you should be holding your ground for your community, in my opinion.
They want Trump in
just
there,
like,
bro.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like how I talk about when people make the argument of these illegal immigrants are leaving their country because their country is so torn up or whatever, and it's like, well, how come they're not staying there and standing up for their country? They're standing up for where they're at. How come they're not fighting their ground, right? To make their country a better place. I don't understand people. I don't understand how it is. I just know if it was on my street, my neighborhood, I wouldn't be letting things slide like that. I'd be calling the cops. I'd be proactive. I'd be getting, the riffraff out of my neighborhood because my kids and I live here, right? That to me is what a man should be doing, is protecting his community. Like, you have to be the change in the world that you want in order for it to occur. So
that's what this dude talking about.
And again, they're asking Trump to come in. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what this dude was talking about. I'm not seeing blood in the street. And the lady, I want her to
say. Oh, he was saying that?
He's like, yeah, listen to this guy, bro. This is crazy.
Chicago, D.C., earlier this year.
Chicago,
everybody's affected.
Chicago.
This is so crazy, bro.
So over the weekend, guys, 35 people were shot. 5 people just died in Chicago over the weekend. And people say they don't see they're saying that they don't see the violence that's in Chicago. Look what this guy said on Fox today.
I was in Chicago, D.C. earlier this year. I'm in Atlanta right now, and I've not yet stepped in one single pool of blood. So I'm not sure what America and what major city Luke is referencing. And I'm not sure, even when I'm in New York City, what he's referencing.
Are you kidding?
And so with that being said.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you haven't stepped, whoa. So you haven't stepped in a pool of blood. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Neither have I, thank God. But a lot of New Yorkers have, and a lot of people in Chicago have. You have seen the crime rates, right? I mean, in Chicago alone, you want to talk about Chicago? 52 people shot this weekend alone. Last weekend, 26. 7 people killed. That's a pool of blood. That's 52 pools of blood. Maybe you didn't step in it, but I tell you, the crime rates and statistics are facts. Why are you saying that you haven't? I think that's irresponsible.
Wow.
Bro, they were talking about that on one street there was a shooting, and then 20 minutes later there was a shooting it was a number street, that's always in the hood. It was like 28th or 38th Street. And then on 39th Street, there was a shooting 20 minutes later. So literally just the street over. So, I mean, yeah, it's all like in one area.
Isolated.
Yeah, but we know, I did a post about it. We know that Chicago is nicknamed Chirac for a reason.
Certain areas in Chicago.
Certain areas.
Nicknamed Chirac. Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in that area. That's the whole point, right? And it's just like DC. When we had that conversation, the same type of conversation about DC, and I told you I've been in the DMV area a couple of times. Right. I never seen it. Chocolate City, remember I was telling you, Chocolate City is right there, DC. I've never seen any issues in there. I see a lot of people there, but I keep my nose clean. I don't cause any issues. So why would anybody have any issues with me? Now these are just a lot of these beefs, and like you said, are from ops. These are people who know each other, probably at the party, they're at the park, there's a lot of people there, all that stuff happens. These streets are filled with people, in these neighborhoods. People are just standing outside doing nothing, kids playing, all that stuff. So and bullets don't care, they're gonna hit whatever they hit, right? So I was just advised to be out of the areas where there are high crime, situations where there's, issues and gang violence and all that, and move somewhere else. Move your family to someplace safer and let the government, let the local officials come in and take care of it. because that's what they're there for, is to take care of those crime, ridden areas. That's what law enforcement is there for.
Let's get back into that. I want to wrap this up because it's at a minute.
Crazy, because I bet out of the 52 of those people that died, majority, if not all, are probably black youth. And we got a black guy on TV denying the crime. Chicago has been the murder capital of the U.S. for 13 years straight. And you got black people on TV denying crime. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, so we got liberals outside of Chicago saying Donald Trump does not need to bring the National Guard to Chicago right now. I saw a couple pictures of, this 25-year-old young lady died in Chicago this weekend.
Wow. Damn. Life cut short.
Y'all just look at it's some crazy
Wrigley
stuff.
Field at the baseball field.
Bro, it was going crazy in Chicago this weekend.
Whoa.
It's been going crazy.
So I wanted to end that, and so this is the thing, right? And this is the argument that they were making. If I will let the video continue going, so they're saying the people that are protesting Donald Trump not coming to Chicago, it's just a bunch of upper middle class white people who don't live anywhere in the area where that crime is being done at. So they're protesting him coming in because of the narrative that plays, right? And that's my whole entire thing about all of this, right? Because I lived in the hood, I grew up in it, I was raised in it. Shootings happened, people died, and people got kicked doors, boom, they got robbed, killed. I would come home from work, and the front is like taped off. You know what I'm saying? Cops checking people as they coming in because somebody just got shot, right? So like, I've been outside smoking, and then we just seen ski masks, niggas walking by with guns, and we seen it, AKs, all that. So like, I grew up in
that's
that.
Orlando.
So right now, I grew up in that, Paul. Now, if you ask me, do I want to live in that, or do I want them to clean it up? I'm gonna say clean it up. And granted, I knew some of the guys that were in it. I knew some of the guys that were a part of the gangs or whatever like that. I mean, my weed man stayed right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Just open my door, knock on the door. So, but if you ask me, do I want to clean that up? I'm gonna be like, yeah, and I'm in my 20s. And that's me not even knowing, what I know now. So if you ask the people that are in the communities that they don't want to live in that, and like you said, they might not have the ability to move out, and they raising kids there. You know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about. I think that they were talking about is a bunch of young kids out there doing these crimes. There's a bunch of minors doing these crimes. We talk to them, they don't care, bro. They more heartless than the OGs. You know what I'm saying? So,
the input I have on the situation is based off of the obvious of President Trump, that people asking President Trump to deploy the National Guard is just based on the obvious that the local law enforcement is probably, and this is an assumption, benefiting from the crime that's being conducted, right? It's just corrupt. The law enforcement is probably corrupt, right? In that area, they're in the take, man. They're getting paid for it. They're involved in it. They're stealing the supplies, selling it, all that. Want to see. They're part of the corruption. They're part of the problem. And so when I'm hearing federal agents are coming in to clean up, it's more so to help clean up the corruption that's going on in the local government. Okay. Because if the local government, these cities, these small isolated areas are being treated like third world countries, man, where, I say it all the time. I don't know if you know what I'm about to say, but third world countries, what's a characteristic of a third world country?
What is it?
Is when the politicians keep the money for themselves and don't distribute it to the people.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Dude.
That's why America is or before this administration came in, America was going down the drain and acting like a third world country, as you can see that was exposed from all of the fraud
bro.
that was discovered. But that's what I, based on my analysis, is the local government needs to be cleaned up. It's not in reflection, and it's a reflection of what the community is going through, right? Because there's no one stepping up. There's no policing. There's no cops, enforcing the law out there, and that's why they need backup. They need something new, a newer presence with newer policies, newer laws to come in and clean it. And so I don't think that the emphasis on the presidential administration is really on the community as the people, but on the local government.
Yeah, because once you get that together and you get them distributing the money as it should, that's my thing, bro. People was talking about, oh, you don't think Trump gonna do the same thing and set his family up and do these things to get these deals to get that money? I'm like, they all gonna do their thing to get their money.
And like you were saying,
but just spill something down to the people a little bit. Like, if you gonna take some money, don't take all the money to where now Chicago, their cops, they don't even have enough cops on the street to even do it. Washington,
that's what I was about to say.
Funded the police, but it's all
that's
why. And Orlando was like that. Orlando's Florida is a red state. They ain't gonna play that. They're not gonna play that for too much longer, bro. Texas, they ain't gonna play that for too. There's things that ICE agents was getting shot in Cali. In Cali, bro, they shooting ICE agents. You think that's gonna happen in Florida, bro?
No.
They ain't shooting
no.
ICE,
the reason why it wouldn't happen in Florida is because of the patriotism of the Floridians here. All right, the Floridians don't want to see that happening in Florida.
Nah.
You get what I'm saying? So,
I don't want to see it happen in Florida.
We are more likely to defend our own neighborhoods rather than having to wait for the cops to show up. You get what I'm saying?
Right about
that. We'll police our own, especially out here in the country, right? I live in the country areas. You're not going to sit here and wait for the cops to show up for something. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to take it on your own. And what's good about the country is we all police each other. You get what I'm saying? We know each other. I know my neighbors down the street. I know everybody out here, and we rely on each other out here in the country. You know what I'm saying? It's a different way of living, of course. Not everybody likes it, but that's Florida in a whole, though, right?
Yeah.
And again, you have certain areas where in the major cities where it gets crazy, like Orlando gets crazy, Tampa gets crazy, down south, Miami areas get crazy. But as a whole, the government, the local authorities, they're not playing. You know what I'm saying? Not here in Florida. Not here in Florida.
They don't look out for that. They got, and I don't think that's a bad thing. No. So I just think that something has to change. And they are talking about indicting the mayor, the black guy, the mayor of Chicago. Yeah, man. And he has one of the largest security detail, and he doesn't want to downgrade it. And they're like, just based off of you having one of the largest security detail and you refusing to downgrade it, that lets you know that there's a problem. But let's get into this last one before we get out of here, bro. Cause we done hit it. Let's check this out. So you heard it, but now you're gonna see it, and it's gonna make more sense, bro.
We do the same diets as white women. We lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet, than our white women counterparts. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you to.
Diets are racist, bro.
I told you this is what is on the podcast world is racism.
Diets are racist. Look at the people sitting in there. Look at the audience. Look at the audience. Look who's talking.
So you looking, Daniel, you looking for us to get canceled again? All right, like on what platform you
This is
trying to get us
funny,
knocked off
Paul.
of this
You
time?
can't make this up.
You already
You
know.
can't make this
You-
up.
You can't be talking about black women like that in in social media. You know they'll come at your neck. They'll come at your neck, man.
Dude, this is
Let's not forget Kevin Samuels, okay?
Paul,
And
this
how
is funny, bro.
and how there were celebrities that were praising his death, praising.
That's sad. That's sad.
Just because he was being transparent on the way women were moving, and the majority of the time black women were moving. No, dieting.
Where do
is
you
not
have
racist.
to go mentally? Where do you have to go
Crazy.
mentally to draw this conclusion, Paul? Like, where do you
I
have
know.
to go mentally
I know.
to draw this conclusion? That because
You got to go
you're
to
black,
you got to go into a closet called unaccountability. That's where you go into. You go into a closet called unaccountability, and you live there. You live in that closet, and you're just not accountable for anything. Everything is someone else's fault, not yours.
and
Right?
she's big, and she's overweight. She's obese. That's obese, bro. That's not just overweight, bro. That's not just overweight.
Yeah.
That's obese, bro.
And it's because of racism.
She can't lose the she can't lose the weight because the diet is racist. When she tells herself to eat salad, she eats the salad, and the salad's like, "No, you're black. I'm not gonna lower your cholesterol. I'm not." When she drinks water,
The water's not gonna. I'm not gonna hydrate your ass. You
I'm
black.
not gonna hydrate you. You gotta drink soda. Oh my god, bro! When she tries to work out at the gym, when she tries to count calories, bro, when she looks at the bag, when she looks at what she's eating and it says 200 calories, right? It's really not 200 calories. It's really 500 calories. And it's lying to her because it's racist and it wants her to pick up weight. So it's not her fault that she's overweight, bro. The diets are racist.
She's hiding in the closet called unaccountability, bro. This is crazy. Cucumbers are like, nah, you can't be eating me. I have no nutritious value for you
No.
at all, right?
I'm not going to
Like-
give you the nutritious value, bro. You got to go back to eating pork and fried foods, bro.
Yeah. How about we
Oh,
follow
God.
this woman's lifestyle and follow what she eats for a week and see?
You think she's
if
still
her
kicking? I don't know
dieting
when
is
this
really
video
racist.
is done.
Man,
You think she's still kicking?
yeah, I think so.
Bro,
so.
black women, what? Black women, what? Conversation? Oh, black women own the conversation. And I'm not against it, right? And I'm poking fun of it. I'm laughing because this is extremely delusional, in my opinion. I believe that this is extremely delusional, bro. To say the diet is racist, to say a diet is whatever, man. And no accountability. So I'm poking fun at it.
Yeah, but are we not going to talk about? Yeah. You hit it right. Are we not going to talk about like the mental illness? Like, how is it that these people are giving them a platform to even talk about this type of stuff? Right? You see what I'm
Because-
saying? Like, it's the mental illness of society, not
Yeah.
just the woman there. It's the fact that you are even paying attention
Yes.
to this woman talk about this stuff, right? Like, how are you even allowing her to have a platform to even
Bro,
voice her
We do
opinion?
the same
It's-
diets as
bro.
white women.
bro, look at this skinny black lady sitting next to her.
Look, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at this.
Bro, how are
She's
you
like looking
how
at
are
her
you
like,
nodding your head to that? Because you eat
Dude.
bro, she looks older. She looks older than the chick that's obese, right? Which means she diets. She didn't get this size, bro, without diet and exercise. She diets and exercises, bro.
but they have the herd mentality, and it's not just black women; it's just women in general, right?
Women
if
in
you
general,
talk to, if you say anything about any woman, it's like a herd. It's like they think on the same frequency, right? So that woman next to her is believing her. She's like really like, yeah, yeah, girl, yeah, I believe it. You see, look at her face. It's not in disgust. It's not in discontent of what she's saying.
We do the same diets as white women.
She's listening.
Everyone in the crowd is listening and believe.
And believe what she
Because
said.
that's how women in general are.
But I'm
Like if I went there and I called her fat, I'd be shamed.
Bro, I guarantee you, if this skinny chick was to say something to her that she was wrong, they would attack her. That fat black lady does not like that skinny chick, bro. And if the skinny chick was to tell her, well, no, try this diet. I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. And she's going to blame it why she can't diet on something else. And they're going to attack this. But the skinny black lady has to pacify her in her harmful behavior, because you can't. I did a post about it, and I don't want to talk about it on the podcast too much, about the trans guy who shot up the Catholic school. I did a video about it, and I said, in order for us to get to that point, we've allowed that because when people are doing this crazy behavior and they're acting irrational, right, and they're exuding this behavior, just like this delusion that this lady in, you can't check it at the door. And because you're unable to check it at the door because you're misogynistic, you're hateful, you're not pacifying the way they feel or they think about themselves, you're not pacifying their ideology of themselves, you're not doing that, you can't say, hey, you're wrong. Because if you were to stand up, Paul, and be like, nah, hold on, bro, diets aren't racist. You can diet, bro. You can be disciplined. You're just choosing not to because you want an excuse. If you were to get up and say that, bro, they would heckle you out of that building, bro, because you can't check.
She literally eat me alive. She literally eat me alive. Yeah,
literally, bro. Literally, bro.
But even
you can't say anything.
That woman next to her, knows she's wrong. She knows it, but she can't. She's not going to tell any. That's the problem with women in general. Okay, is that they don't shame each other. They don't. Men will shame each other, man. You suck, man. Hey, man, why you playing like that? Hey, come on, man, get your game up. Hey, what's up, brother? Come on, look at what you wearing. What are those?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, men will do that, but you'll see some of the biggest women wearing the tightest outfits with their bellies sticking out, you know, and you can tell it's supposed to be for someone 10 times. 10 sizes, smaller is supposed to be wearing it, but she's wearing it, and she's wearing it with a bonnet too, and no one's saying anything. No one's saying anything.
Girl, you're a queen. You're a queen. Do your thing, queen.
You wearing it. Yeah.
Bro. I
No one's saying anything. It could be solved. All this could be solved if people would just, stop pandering to people. Their feelings and trying to make everyone pacifying and trying to make them feel like, oh yeah, the world's against you, you're there's no accountability, it's not your fault. Could be if women would stand up and shame each other, right? Like literally be honest about it, because there are a lot of women with sense out there. A lot of women know that what she's saying is BS. Okay,
the comments,
but nobody's gonna say it.
The comments
did the comments?
Oh, bro. They roasted her, bro.
I'm happy for
2
that.
to 5%.
But they wouldn't do it to her face. To her face.
I'm gonna say it like this: majority of women have sense. Majority of men have sense. Majority of society has sense. That's why Trump won by such a huge landslide. Majority of people have sense, and they're not with this woke crap. 2 to 5% of the people are causing all of the problems. I don't even think it might not even be 5%. It may just be 2%. But because we're not allowed to check the 2%, social media and what media has done, and I'm gonna try to pull back, Paul, because I don't want to go too hard, because like, bro, man, listen. I can't say what
it's okay.
I'm really feeling. We
can get canceled. Canceled. It's all good.
Bro, either they gonna hate me or love me, Paul. I'm letting you know right now. Either they gonna hate me or love me.
I got you.
But majority of people aren't on that type of time. But because of media, And because of what social media has done and the news outlet has done, they want to try to make you think that majority of humanity thinks that way. And that's just not true.
Correct.
That's why Marvel is losing money. That's why the Democratic Party is now trying to find a way to get young men back. That's why Disney is trying to find a way to get young men back. That's why Star Wars has gone down the drain, because they want you to think that majority of people think and believe that way. And it's just not true. Right.
That's true. That's right.
Majority of Americans, majority of humanity is conservative for the most part. That's not to say we all agree on the same things. Come on, let's we don't all agree on the same things. But majority of people have common sense, bro.
Yeah, and you're right? So the media is amplifying the minority as if the majority thinks that way. Same thing with what the article that you were talking about with the transgender guy, right? I heard, I guess it was the mayor or governor or something who talked about the shooting afterwards, and he really didn't even mention any condolences to the people who got shot or anything. He was all about the transgender community needs your sympathies and all this stuff. And it's like, hold up, I'm not against transgender people, but they're like a small percentage of the population, right? So how is it that you're creating policies for that's why we're not really in a democracy in a democratic country, because the politicians aren't really representing the people, right? They're only representing agendas, not the people, right? It should be more so on focus on the individual, focus on the person, not hey, we're just gonna do what the majority says, because they can lie about what the majority said. They come up with their own statistics, Daniel. They like the majority says this, right? And so we should follow this. And it has nothing to do with those statistics. It's just the agenda that they try to push. Because if they looked at the statistics, right, like the last administration looked at the statistics, they would see that there's only like a fraction of the population that plays the role of the transgender community. But then you want everybody to be absorbed in that?
Everybody.
No. From what you're pumping out on media, TV, movies, all that stuff, it's a mess. It's a mess.
They said that Trump was gonna lose. They said that he was gonna lose by a margin. This guy won by a landslide, the largest win in our political history. But they said that he was gonna lose. All the polls said that he was gonna lose. They were just trying to sway the opinion of others. They were trying to sway the opinion of people. And so that's why I think the best thing that people could do, formulate your own opinion, believe how you think for yourself, right? And then we talked about it last show. I use social media as entertainment, bro. Like that's literally what I go to it for. And I do. Are there other outlets and people that I trust their information? Like, yeah, I go to certain places for the information, but it's information that I'm interested in. If I'm not interested in it, I'm not gonna let it sway me. I'm not gonna let it sway the way I think, sway the way I believe. And I like to try to remain logical and neutral to a lot of things. So like if something happens that I don't agree with, I call it out and I say, oh yeah, whether it's black, white, people that I like or not, right? I try to remain as real as I can. But yeah, bro. That's the show, man. I don't want to end it. You got something to say, Paul? Because I know I was just going straight to the close.
No. Always good times. I appreciate you guys, Beyond the Hustle Nation, for tuning in. 34th episode. 34. Thanks for chiming into our conversation about what we're talking about. I mean, we are trying to keep it entertainment, but it's also informational for you too. We're all about business. We're all about marketing. My man Maestro here has seen that your businesses need some better marketing approaches, man. So you better hit him up. All right, at Daniel Tatamy Productions. And if you got any issues, tax problems, you owe a lot of money to the IRS, or any type of budgeting or financial advice that you might need, give me a buzz. I'm easy to reach. Okay. Other than that, I'm gonna see you guys next week. Same bat time,
Yeah.
same bat channel. We'll do it
thank
again.
y'all for watching. Make sure y'all hit us up on Spotify, Beyond the Hustle Podcast. Hit us up on Facebook. Well, y'all watch us on Facebook, but Instagram and TikTok. We're trying to get those right back up. TikTok banned our account, but we coming back. So make sure y'all help us out with that. And we will see y'all next week. Deuces.